Every day.
Orders for everybody.
1 million shirts sold.
Deals every day.
Buy one, get one free.
I love working
Deals
here at
every
T-Shirt
day.
Kings.
Businesses and sports teams.
Yes.
Deals every day.
Mega stars like Kanye West.
Deals every day.
I got the best team in the world. Creative artists.
Deals every day.
Nah.
Over 1 million t-shirts sold, man. That's a sack.
It is, but you know, I'm upset we ain't sold 2 million yet.
That's all. What's most important for you at T-Shirt Kings, man?
Customer service, man. Taking care of my customers, making sure that they major.
What about your team?
I got the best team in the world. They get busy. They love the customers. We got a saying, I don't gotta go to work. I get to go to work.
What are some of the different styles of shirts that like you can get made here?
I got DTF printing. We are definitely the screen print kings. We turn that around immediately for you, which by the way is what separates us from other companies. Somebody will tell you it takes 2 weeks. I tell you it's gonna take 2 days.
Where do you see T-Shirt Kings like 5-10 years from now?
We're already the best t-shirt company in the world. We already are coming up with concepts that I don't see anybody else doing. You order 20 shirts, 10 of them are free. Bulk discounts, fast turnaround, and free designs.
Completely world class.
Nah.
It's your homie C-Lock from Network and Chill, where the network is real and entrepreneurs build, man. Y'all come on and rock with us.
Sean Fields, man. Y'all know where to catch me every single Monday night. We coming with heat, man. Y'all gotta make sure y'all get your priorities together, man. We going over small business entrepreneurship, some financial tips, man. Pete, tell me, man.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Oh, hey, it's your boy Peanut, CEO of Dash Resource LLC. Your business is my business, and this guy needs a logo. Pharaoh.
Yo, it's Pharaoh. Yeah, make sure you at Gym City Market. Monday, December 19th, man. We there. Entrepreneurs. Yeah, come on.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy Dash Resource. I got my man Ahava El Elyon in the building on the panel today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, everybody, man? Welcome to the Legendary People Podcast. I'm Akaba Elion, and we want to say what's up to our sponsor, Horizon Science Academy, Dayton High School. You ain't cool if you don't go to that school, man. We actually love Horizon Science Academy, but we also love Dayton High School. Dayton School.
The Dayton School.
Dayton School. And you know what? I think I've been trained to say high school for some reason. Messing with my bro over there. But one thing that I think that I'm actually loving is just the relationships that I've been having with schools in general. Being able to partner up with schools. Schools like really come through, making shirts for them. As one of the sponsors is T-Shirt Kings. But just the ability to be able to make shirts for schools and go in and build with students and chop it up with students. And then for the elementary schools, I actually go in there and read to schools. So I just want to give an overall shout out to schools in general. Yeah. And especially today, the Dayton School.
I also want to give a shout out to the Emerson School. I actually spoke with those students on yesterday. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Emerson School.
Yeah. And then I went to Dayton, what is it?
Dayton Leadership.
The Dayton Leadership Academy. And chopped it up with those students. I think it might have been last Friday with Shaq. So, man, school in general, man, is like, I think we're moving in the right direction, and we got an opportunity to teach our kids the way that they're going to be able to receive information.
Great.
You know, it's definitely more than one way to educate, and I think that if we can educate hands-on as opposed to just all book learning, it gives the children just a different type of feel and a different way to retain information, especially from experience. And then I want to say what's up to Taco Street. Basically, all the sponsors behind me, Taco Street, Amani, Wright and Schulte, the Alumni Tournament, Fit Fam, Acute Eye for Design. Say what's up to Dr. Isaiah Pittman. And Lake Pittman, man, you know, they got the Center for Diabetes. Mm-hmm. They always come through and break a lot of bread with us. So, man, we're going in the right direction. Bring this, you see how you got that thing right there? Bring it centered to the screen for me so we can see what's going on. We cocked out to the side like Debo's eye. There you go. Now we got a better feel of what's real. What's up, B-Nut?
What up? What up? What up? I five. Man, I just really think though, I like what you're doing with the schools. Though I think that's important. Though education is important. You know what I'm saying? It's very important. And, I just wanted to say that.
It is in a way.
We in there now.
No, I feel you.
It is, man. I mean, it's some of the stuff that we being educated to though is
Education, not indoctrination.
It's miseducation.
Or indoctrination.
It's miseducation. Like, I think that there should be a strong presence in finding out what the kids actually want to learn and then teach them from that perspective, because like trying to make somebody do something that they really don't even want to do is almost becoming counterproductive.
So what
But
about
when do you do that? At what age?
Well,
Because they need the foundation, you know.
you do need certain foundations, but I think that the things that they're interested in as an early child and things that they dreaming about, you know what I mean? We should be trying to figure out how to make their wildest dreams come true and not like cut the cord on what they imagine and that they can do for themselves. So like sometimes like if a kid's they like, I want to go to the moon. I mean, it would be good if we could start teaching them the basic foundations of saying, okay, you really like that type of stuff? You like space? You like this and that? And then kind of just start teaching them, say, well, this is what you need to do. You got to learn all of this.
Yeah.
And then that would be the vehicle for getting them to that, you know. And all kids, like making leaders out of children at an early age, I think that's important. But what's the age where kids actually start, it's like, I think it's at 7 years old, kids get to, like that's when they're absorbing the most and they becoming,
It's like maybe
show y'all
little
something.
pre-K.
no? Yeah, like from 1 to 4
Maybe
is when the kid and when the
when they're
child
little
learn
and
the
then
most.
when they get to about second grade.
yeah.
It's when they're really receptive to education.
Right.
And then it changes in third grade if they can't read or if there are deficits there. Then they start being unengaged, not because don't want to be, but because they retreat because they're behind.
Right.
So I think it's more about us because I think our current education system was really put in place by Rockefeller, and he was just trying to make workers. So our education system is really set up to make workers. That's
Right.
for the industrial industry,
Right.
Depending on what school you go to.
and so it's really outdated. So
Right.
for the majority of our education system,
Right. It depends on what school you go to. Maybe not at your school.
If right now I feel like if you come from an affluent community, then you're getting all that. But if your child is in a system where you don't have any control because you're not putting money into the school, then you have to do kind of like what your child has to learn and receive what they're giving them.
Their curriculum.
I want to show y'all something really, really quick, which is really it's right on target with what you guys are talking about. Have you guys heard about China using AI to teach their children?
I'm sure that was coming.
So let me show you guys a video really, really quick, and I want to see if you guys. I'm gonna get your live reaction to this. Let's see. Copy.
But why are you trying to find that?
Yeah, I got it.
Like that, using AI to teach children, I don't like it. I don't even like the idea of that, man. And one thing that I've been seeing is like, man,
Because
I
we're human. How is AI gonna adjust to a human?
I mean, you can use it as a tool, but to completely take over and like, so like you using AI to teach children. What's just stopping the children from just using the same AI type technology to think for them?
Oh, they have it.
You see what I'm saying? Like, are you teaching them how to use AI, or are you using AI to teach them?
All right.
Let's see.
All right, guys, I'm ready.
It's a good question.
And like so the viewers can watch it at home as well.
Teachers at this primary school in China know exactly when someone isn't paying attention. These headbands measure each student's level of concentration. The information is then directly sent to the teacher's computer and to parents. China has big plans to become a global leader in artificial intelligence. It has enabled a cashless economy where people make purchases with their faces. A giant network of surveillance cameras with facial recognition helps police monitor citizens. Meanwhile, some schools offer glimpses of what the future of high-tech education in the country might look like.
I'll pause it there. How do you guys feel about that?
I feel like, first of all, if depending on what kind of, I don't think that will necessarily work here because we are a melting pot and our schools are way more diverse. Mm-hmm. Also, I mean, you got this headband on. It's like, it's too much like a factory. I do think we need to kind of welcome AI. I mean, it's the future and really it's going to take over. And a lot of us won't have jobs in the urban community because, you know, that's going to take over and we're not teaching our kids how to code, none of that. So I think it's a place for it. However, the way they're using it, I don't know if it would necessarily work. It would be more of your headband is white. I got you. Your mama it's too much. It's too much. I don't want to get a notification every time my son ain't paying attention. I'm not going to be able to work.
Yeah, and I think that using it as a tool, I don't dislike the technology of it. I think that it's cool. It's a sweet tool to be able to use in order to maybe see what student isn't paying attention and what we can use in order to kind of get their attention, or just getting the data on okay, when the teacher is talking this, it's losing the student's attention. So maybe we need to kind of curb the way that we teaching. So it's a tool, use it as a tool. But I don't think that we should be having just robots standing in front of the class as teachers, man, teaching the students this, that, and the third. You know, but I don't know everything. I could be wrong. If it turns out to be effective, then it's okay. But just using AI to write a book and then saying you're the author of the book, not for real. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's a little fugazi to me. Right. You know, so I just think that we need to just use it as a tool, but don't let it replace just us being able to have critical thinking about problem solving and so on and so forth.
So I want to ask the panel real quick. So think about one of your favorite teachers. What made them one of your favorite teachers?
Because I like art and she was my art teacher.
One of my favorite teachers is teachers that kind of go outside the box a little bit and kind of break the mold of just traditionalism. Mm-hmm. When I think about Mr. Steinmetz, who was my literature teacher at Fairview, he was just, I don't know, man, the way that he interacted and engaged with the students, man, it was just cool. Mm-hmm. And few times we'd bring lunch into the classroom and eat. And then I had another teacher, Miss Babb, at Fairview. She was Miss Neal is another one. Miss Neal is still in the school system. They was really tough teachers, man. They didn't play. Mm-hmm. They wasn't gonna play no games, and they stood on what they believed in, man. You know what I'm saying? And they taught us from a position of strength. I had another teacher that taught history. Smaller classrooms make better teachers too. Agreed. Because they give students have more of an opportunity to get that one-on-one with the teacher, and the teacher can kind of show the kid that it just ain't about learning, but it's about them too. Yeah. And they let the students have input. So Mr. Bryant, Ms. Babb, Mr. Steinmetz for sure. Those.
Do you think the smaller class size makes a better teacher, or the smaller class size allows for a better learning environment?
Both.
So you think a teacher's ability depends on how many kids are in there?
Yeah, because I think that she can get in her bag a little bit better. A bad teacher that has a big classroom that's just always having to reprimand and stop students from misbehaving. Like if you was to bust down that classroom size in half and let her be able to manage it a little bit better, I think that those are the things that would be able to make her a better teacher. Like being a good teacher kind of depends on the circumstance and what you're given in order to be a good teacher. You know?
I don't know if I agree. It'd be better for both the teacher and the student if it was smaller, but they can manage either way.
A good coach normally has good players and is in a good organization that's going to go out and put the talent around him that he needs in order to be the best at what he can possibly be. An environment always produces just another level of what you can achieve. You know, when you like, man, I can't work in this.
Still be a good coach in a bad environment.
He might be frustrated, but he still would. I think who you are and your abilities, regardless of the situation.
I mean, a good coach could not be frustrated with the kids, but they would still lose. And then you would still get like a losing grade as far as a result. But are good teachers, are we grading if a good teacher is a good teacher by the results and the fruit that they bear? So like, let's say I could have a good teacher.
Is that what you're grading them off?
I would grade a teacher, yes, on how the students are coming out of their class and being prepared for the next level.
Okay. And how do you determine that? How would you determine that?
By how well they do at the next level and how well they perform.
Okay.
I mean, if a teacher, you could have a good teacher that's in a dysfunctional environment and she can't get nothing done. She might, I mean, the ability to teach kind of depends on how the students are behaving. But
then we don't have any good teachers, if that's the case. Well, the kid, all I'm saying is I don't agree because you can't choose your clientele. You can only choose how you show up for them. So this is my room. When you come in here, this is what's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. And if not, might not be the environment for you. But regardless of you, I'm gonna show up and do what I'm gonna do, regardless of how you're acting. I'm just gonna handle that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I want to interject. So my favorite teachers were. It's funny because yesterday I ran into one of my favorite teachers before, and it's been so long since I've been in high school. The moment I heard his voice, I knew exactly who he was. His name was Mr. Mahoney. He was a teacher that didn't take no crap at all, like none, zero tolerance for none of the BS.
He used to work at Methodist?
Yep.
That was your favorite teacher?
Well, no, my favorite teacher there was Mr. Lawrence, but he was one of my favorite ones also because he didn't take no BS, and literally he had that standard when you walk inside the classroom. It's like that decorum of this is how things are going to be in the classroom. If you're not with this, you're not in here, right?
Right.
And that kind of made it to where I didn't act out in that class. It was other classes where I acted out in. One of those.
Tell me how you act. What does acting out mean?
So I'm an outside person where I could learn the information quickly, and then
just jokes for the rest of the
class. I got jokes.
So does that mean that person's not a good teacher? If you can get done with your work and don't have anything else to do, then that's me failing as a teacher, because I should be able to differentiate and cater to your needs and the low kids' needs and the middle kids' needs. I would try to have a conversation with you, like, what's going on, like.
So I'll give you another example. So Mr. Lawrence was the reason why he's my favorite teacher, because he noticed that in me, because he was the one that be like, he'd see me talking, he'd ask me to answer the question on the board, and I answer the question on the board and get right back to talking. So he pulled me to the side and told me that, yo, you are exceptional. That person over there is struggling. Like, that person that's laughing at all your jokes is not getting the information at all. And he taught me to be a leader. He molded me into being a leader, to where I'm now teaching them how to do it rather than making fun of them during the class or joking and stuff like that. So I see the contrast, but I also see the power in someone having a standard for kids rather than saying, oh, all them kids stupid and they don't want to learn. Oh, well, I'm just going to just blow through the information because I'm getting paid to do it.
So do you think that was the teacher or the environment or the tools that the teacher had?
I think the environment. I think Methodist culture was all messed up, man. But I thrived in that culture, though.
No, I'm saying, do you think it was was the teacher a good teacher because he was a good teacher, or did the environment make him a good teacher?
I think Mr. Lawrence is an exceptional teacher. He's still teaching today. Yeah, I ran into him at Meadowdale, and the kids still love him today. So it wasn't my own interaction, there's other people's interaction as well that said it. Mr. Mahoney, nobody liked him, but I did.
Yeah, I don't either. Sorry.
Yeah. Nah. What about him just rubs you the wrong way?
So I feel like education is about compliance. And that is the reason why more black males than females. But I was like a tomboy, so I fit in the black male. It's about compliance. So if you're not compliant and if you do what I say, you good.
Mm-hmm.
If you put your name on the paper, I'll say put the name on the paper. If you, except, you know, when you're in language arts and there's a standard MLA format, whatever. But otherwise, if I'm in math class and I don't have my paper right, you don't get a grade. Like, my oldest son will thrive no matter what environment he's in because he's going to do what he's told. My middle kid, nope, he's me. So he would be labeled bad. He would be labeled, he's innovative though. But I feel like sometimes education doesn't like that. He's just as smart as his brother, but if he has a question or if he wants to stand up and do his work instead of sit down at it, then it's, no, I told you to sit down, what's the problem? So I feel like if our kids are compliant, then they're considered smart and good kids and they make it through our education system. But if they're not, then they're labeled bad or hard-headed or a problem. So I just feel like teachers who want you to show up the way that shows that none of our personalities can shine through. So we have to conform and assimilate to white culture. And if we're not, then we're considered bad or whatever the case may be. Like, that's where professionalism comes from. And when people say you have poor sportsmanship, like if they seen us playing spades right now, we have bad sportsmanship. Mm-hmm. But that's our culture. And we're not allowed to be ourselves within the education system. And if we are, then we're labeled.
I think that goes back to what I was saying about when the education system was changed by the Rockefeller, and it was made to where he wanted workers, and that's what our education system is producing, is workers. That's what they tell you, to go to school, get a good education so you can do what?
Get a job.
Right. Get a good job. And that's what our education system is all about. And if you're not about that, then you're going against what our education system about. Like you're saying, if you don't conform, because it's about conforming when you're on your job. It's about seeing can you show up for 8 hours and stay here for 8 hours and stand here or whatever you need to do and do this for 8 hours straight. So without going and doing other things, you know what I'm saying? I need you to put this box out right here for 8 hours. You know what I'm saying?
I think that there is some kind of delicate line to give kids what they need and give them what they want too, because you can't just give them everything that they want.
Oh no.
You know, but you do have to give them some of the things that they want and cater to what they interested in. So hold on, I got a question for you. So I read a stat that said 70% of black kids was not graduating. Right? Have you heard that statistic before?
No, but I don't.
Right. Is it where? Yeah. Because I know in Detroit it was only it was 25% of the students was graduating. So that was 75%. Yeah. And that's sad.
So, and if you look at the graduation pictures now for class graduations in the 70s and 80s, it would be like 100 people on the graduation, or even maybe more than that. But now it's like.
But part of that is because
40.
it's more schools too.
All right, that's true. But what I'm saying is 70% of kids is not graduating. If the figure I'm talking about is real, what do you think the main reason for that is?
I think it's because of the world is changing. Like, we are evolving as a world community, whatever you want to call it, but the education is not.
Right.
It's still the same. Like, sit down, shut up, learn these math facts, and let's go to the next thing.
Yeah.
Who feels like doing that when I'm on social media all day scrolling?
Right.
Like, when I'm moving fast pace, and then I get into the classroom and then sit down, get a piece of paper, take these notes. And it's just boring.
It's out of date. Our education system is out of date.
It is outdated.
So what should education do in order to adapt to the new time?
No, I was going to say that though. So if you go to, depending on what schools you go to, you can see that they are trying to prepare their students for what the world is like, doing STEM stuff, like projects, just a whole bunch of different things instead of let's just read and reply. I don't know,
Right.
but I think we need to, first of all, we need to put more money in education. Let's be real, especially the public school system, because AI costs, STEM stuff costs, everything costs. And if you're in an underserved community, where are you getting it from? Like if you're in an affluent community, it doesn't matter because my mama got money. What y'all need?
Right.
Let's all the parent group get together and make it happen.
Right.
So I think money is an issue, but I also just think even without money, we just need to start talking to students. So if we are reading Romeo and Juliet, why are we reading this? Okay, when we get done to reading this, let's talk about what y'all want to read. Let's talk about what might impact you. Let's talk about maybe y'all could do some book groups. Just students being able to articulate to you without getting in trouble that this is boring and why can't we do something like this and actually have a discussion with your students instead of telling them just shut up, be quiet. I do what I want to do because this is my room. You know what I'm saying? Because they're our future.
At what age do you think we should start letting students have an impact on what they like to learn? Like what I was talking about earlier, you asked me what age.
So here's the
what's
thing.
right answer?
I think that when students are in pre-K through third, they get more say-so than when they get older. I think when they're young and cute, everybody's like, what kind of books? They try to make sure multiple range of books are in the classroom. Like that, if you were in my room, I'm going to try to find a book with a guy with locks on it just so you feel comfortable. That's what elementary pre-K teachers do.
Yeah.
They make sure their students are engaged in reading. They try to find books that they would be interested in. They try to find their classrooms. I mean, look at an elementary school classroom like pre-K. When you take your child to preschool, it's so interactive. It's so much hands-on stuff. So they're excited about learning. Then when they get back to the third grade and they have to take this test, that's what it's all about. You don't see all that. Like when you get to high school, you don't see nothing. And look,
when I went to Patterson, right? We picked a job field. Like
that's because you was at a different
like a trade school.
Yeah.
It was called Patterson Co-op. So we would go to work for 2 weeks and then go to school for 2 weeks.
I like that
you
idea.
would find a job in your field, which was cool, But it was still training you to just go and get a job, not really be business oriented. But do you think that it would be all right if we had like elementary schools where we would interview the students and ask them what they like to do? And your interest might change from year to year, but maybe like have like a summer, you know how you do the open house days? Like they could interview the kids, you know what I'm saying, and ask them what they would like to do, and then maybe put them in at least one class of something that they all like to do. Maybe have 10 different fields.
But what age group would you do that in? Because I think pre-K, you got to set that foundation. Like they have to learn how to read. They have to learn how to add. They have to.
No. And like I'm saying, like third grade, fourth grade.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that they might like to do. So, for example, if they like video games a whole lot, we could put them in a coding class where they are coding and making their own video games.
So that's what I'm saying about the schools. You can find that at certain schools that are more affluent than the public school system.
Right.
It's the public schools who are teaching our students how to become workers and comply, not necessarily the more affluent schools.
The affluent schools are teaching kids to become the
Our
bosses.
boss.
And the people are,
but
I
not
think
necessarily. But you know what I'm
really
saying? They are giving them different options.
That's really how society set up, though, and we really have to educate our kids according to how we want our society. So in our communities and stuff. So if we have, if we want our communities to be a certain type of way, we'd have to teach our kids to be that way.
Yeah.
First, you know what I'm saying?
That was my question. Like, how much of the responsibility are we going to put on the education system and not the community at large?
It should be on the community, and it should be on the parents.
Because
like,
if I'm teaching my
education should be a tool in the community.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we have to value community first. We really have to change our values.
And value education.
Right, value education.
Definitely. And be a part of the educational system. Like, I think definitely need the school to embrace what the students are looking for in order to get the most of their attention that they, you know what I'm saying? Because like, it's hard for you to pay attention to something that is even good for you. Like, let's take religion, for example. When you're a kid, like, man, you got to go to church, you be in there asleep. Even though this thing might be talking about, you know, how you'll be blessed or life or death or something. Like, you don't understand the things that are good for you. So you got to mix in the things that are good for you with something that you're interested in, too. And it don't got to be the whole school day.
Yeah.
But it needs to be just a portion of the day where the kids can look forward to doing that, or even mixing it in a little bit of every class.
But how do you get that in there? Who is paying for that extra teacher? Like, if I have to make a choice whether you learn how to read or your math skills get better, and then you're doing what you want,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to tell you because we don't have funding for that. You know what I'm saying?
You have to Trojan horse the math in there with the interest of the children. Like, you need to, like, almost teach it as a song or teach it as some type of creative way, you know. And I think the people, they are doing that with some of the computer programs that they use to teach kids. But, like, you got to Trojan horse that information. It's a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. So the creativity of teaching, like you said, it's got to be next level.
Yeah.
I mean.
So can I tell you what I heard as an educator?
Yeah.
I heard that you want me to go to school to get a degree, be in all this college debt, and then come to school and entertain your child. That's what I heard as an educator.
Edutainment.
I know, but where in my so for me as an educator, and I have to worry about these standards, and I have to worry about my students passing the state test, because if they don't, then
It looks bad on you.
it looks bad on me and the school, and I got to do all this. And let me just say this. I'm not a real good entertainer. That ain't who I am. And now you're telling me that what I went to school for doesn't matter unless I'm entertaining your child. No, I'm not saying that's what you said, just as an educator.
Right.
That's what you heard.
No.
Some educators will hear that. I know what he's saying, but I'm just.
Well, no. If you want to be a part of a special thing, you got to do special things to make it special. You see what I'm saying? So anybody can go and be, I'm not saying anybody, but any teacher can go to a standard school and do standard educational practices. But if you want to come and be a part of something that is next level, if you want to come and be a part of something that is different and something that is going to keep the students fully engaged, then that's the teacher that I'm looking for.
So where you find that
that's
teacher at?
capable-
Because we don't get paid a lot. It's the teacher shortage. We don't have teachers now. Now
Right.
you want me to tell teachers to go to school to learn.
The parents are going to pay for it. The parents.
No,
are gonna
I'm
pay
saying,
for
where
it.
do we find the teacher who's going to be willing to do all that while we dealing with all y'all headaches?
We need to get them while they're interns. We need to go and find the most brilliant teachers while they're in college. You got to shake them out. You got to find.
But they're not
students.
nobody's going to college for education. Because
Well,
they don't want to deal with y'all kids.
I mean,
That's not me.
We got
I'm just-
teachers. With the teachers that we got, we might need to go in and reshape those things. Because, like, if we saying that it's impossible to find good teachers, then we, like, behind the 8 ball. So let's say that these teachers out here exist. And we have to attract these teachers to ourselves by the way that we're thinking and what we're focusing on. Instead of thinking like, nah, there aren't these teachers that don't exist. When you think that, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and then these teachers never will show up. But if you know in your heart that there is a teacher out there that is perfect for this particular situation in math, reading, science, all of the basic foundations, right? And then we can also get teachers that will be able to be creative in their approach to teach, like mixing in what the children are interested in order to bring about the result. If we kind of like got that focus, then these things will show up.
There are teachers out there like that, though. We just ain't. They're just going to the schools who gonna pay them to be that.
But I want to add to
you
it also.
are the school that's going to pay them to be that.
Where am I gonna get this money?
It's going to come to you. The money is coming. The money is coming if you believe it to be true. That's where you have to step outside of what you see and understand that faith is what delivers. Like, you have to go and get parents, okay? Like, parents that are serious about education, they will pay for it for their children, and they will not only pay for it for their for their children, they will pay your school. You got the school. You have the school that the parents will pay for their children to go to if they can see the results. And it might start with just a small group.
Small, it has
The
to start
small.
small.
And the small group is going to be better for you because the smaller the group, the more results that you're going to yield. So, like,
Well,
you
let
might
me-
not be able to hire all these teachers.
I'm gonna just tell you
At
this.
first.
I agree with everything you're saying.
Okay.
I just know that in order for this, what you're talking about to happen, you need to find somebody who was built for this.
You.
I'm doing it, but I'm only one person. And not only that, when you say to find these teachers, I get it. I am eventually, but in the meantime, when I don't have them and the foundation of my school and the reputation of my school is being written per se, then it might, okay, I'm gonna just tell you this. At the beginning of the school year, I was teaching, principal, and my secretary all at once because I'm not gonna hire a teacher who is not gonna do what's best for my students.
Exactly.
However, that causes
It's not
burnout.
sustainable.
It's not.
I know.
It's not. And so I'm just saying, like, what you're saying sounds good. And also, I come from humble beginnings. I'm sure my mom cared about education. There's no way that she could have paid for anything. She could barely keep our lights on. So to say that a parent, if they care about education, will put money into it, a lot of my parents don't have it. They working 2 and 3 jobs and their kids working, which is why half of them don't come to school like they should. But I kind of cater to that, not cater to it, but I say, okay, listen, I know you got to go to work. So how about you set your schedule from 1 to whatever. You come get what you need to get, and then I'll just let you leave early.
Yeah. Well, see,
But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all good in a perfect society, but that ain't the society in which we live.
This is what I'm saying too. Like, this is what you're building. This isn't what you can just snap your fingers and have tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
get that.
I'm not
You're
trying
right.
to tell you like this is what you need to do right this second, but just like as a template as to what you are working towards. And when you are hiring your teachers, you are sharing these philosophies and these principles as to what is going to set this school apart and how eventually this school is going to be so good that people are willing to pay, you know? And then like you almost have to help people who want to be helped, you know? And there might be different programs out there. You know better than me. But my thing is just talking to you the other day and seeing your dedication and seeing how you come out of your own pocket to buy not t-shirts, but hoodies and buying things that's not at the bare minimum. You got what it takes in order for this thing to go to the level of my wildest imagination. Like, you got it. Like, you was literally, if I'm not mistaken, like you went and talked to a group of people and then the next day they told you, no, they don't want you to come back or something. Is that right?
I don't know what you're talking about. That happened a lot, so I need to know specifically what you're
So
talking
that's what I'm saying. What my point in telling you that is, like, you different. You
But it's not-
you gonna buck trends. You just here to buck trends, man. You like on the Legendary People podcast with us for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it might not happen next year, you know, but just as long as you just know what you're looking for. And we all kicking around ideas. Like, I definitely can't tell you how to do anything because I don't know. I'm not an educator and I don't even know how kids are acting in these classes,
Ugh.
which I'm sure is very difficult.
I mean, it is if you are a compliance person.
Right.
It's not difficult for me because and it's never been difficult for me. Like, I've been in the classroom, I've been an administrator. My first year being an administrator, I had 8th grade, 9th grade, and special education, which are the worst 3 you can have. But some things just aren't that serious. Like, far as, okay, if we are a uniform school and you got to wear khakis and a white polo shirt and you come in with a white t-shirt instead of a polo, who cares?
Right.
But when you're in a system who does care, it's like you have to like play this two sides of the fence, which was my problem because now I got the school against me. You know, like it's it's hard to do except if you decide to open your own school.
So I want to ask you about that. What's the difference between a charter school and a public school on the power you actually have over governing your school?
So, I'm gonna say this. Public schools have power to govern. It just depends on who their superintendent is and who the person is over them, if they give them autonomy to do what needs to be done in a school and not try to do a one size fit all, no matter what neighborhood, what demographic you're serving. So it's not that charter schools have more power. They kind of have the same power depending on who's leading the school.
Okay.
You know, but the state controls testing. It's some things we don't have a choice but to do.
Even charter?
Yes.
Okay.
Because of the state. Now, if you're a private school, you don't necessarily have to do all them state tests, because I guess it's a catch-22, right? If I'm giving you money, I need to see some type of results, because all these kids are graduating from high school and this and that without being able to read and all this, and we're and the community's tax dollars are paying for their kids not to graduate and can't read.
Is that a charter school?
I'm just saying in general.
Do charter schools get money from the state?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
So all schools are funded by state, local, and federal governments. The amount of money you get depends on how much money you got. And if you're starting like me, I don't have as much leeway as maybe CJ would have, or maybe a parochial school who is a private school, because some of this money that I take from the state, they're not taking because they got money.
So is there a way where you could come up with, let's say that we came up with something that was like so appealing to everybody in the community, right? And we like, look, man, come out for this day. It's Build a School Bash. And we threw a party for the community to come out and everybody donate to just you, right? And then let's say that we was able to raise $100,000 to put inside your bank account. Now you would go to the state and say, listen, I got $100,000 that I can put up to start this school. Then that would give you more leverage for them to give you more funding, where you would be able to do more, paying teachers.
No, the funding is based on numbers. You don't get more based on, you get more based on your demographic. So if you are in a school with low students who come from low economic status, like poor kids, their parents make a certain amount of money, then your whole school will get free lunch. They'll pay for it. Or they'll put in programs. They'll give you grants and money for programs that will help those students. If you have a number of homeless students, McKinney-Vento allows for you to be able to service them. If just all these different things that say, this is keeping me from being a productive student, the state, local, and federal governments earmark money for that for your school. So it's not based upon how much you start out with. It's it's just based upon numbers and who you're serving. So if I got a lot of immigrants and they can't speak English, then I could get a grant, or I could get ESL money, which is English as a second language money. So it doesn't depend on how much money you have. It depends on who you're serving.
Right. Okay.
But the more affluent schools, I mean, if you are at a private school, it's certain things that you can do, like you will have, like CJ has a Bible class. You can't have a Bible class in a public school.
Right.
You could talk about God. You could read the Bible as a piece of literature, but you can't teach it as this isn't the way in which you need to
live your life. So how are they able to do that?
Because they're private and they don't take certain money from the state.
So, they don't take certain money from the state? Do they get some money from the
Yeah,
state?
they get some.
Can you set yours up like that, where you're a private school?
Yes, if I had money to be a private school. I need that money.
They have donors, like
donors, big money.
Yeah.
Big
but the community though. So
eventually, I think I could.
What I'm talking about would probably be we raise enough money to have a private school, a vocational private school for kids, and like that would be your school. And is there any benefit in you coming into a situation with money of your own?
Yeah, the benefit is depending on how much it is. Okay, let's just say it's a small amount, like 100,000. Not saying that's a small amount; it's a lot, but it's small compared to
education for sure.
So, the benefit of that would be that I can provide more programming for my students, like that would benefit them.
Right.
Like I can hire a STEM teacher.
Yeah.
If our kids are doing projects that require them to code something and the robot moves, then I can afford to get that for them.
Right.
I mean, there are programs and grants out there for that, but not in your first year. But like you would just be able to put more money into the classroom and put more money into our students and expose them to more. Like we could do a whole college tour, a HBCU college tour. Like right now I can't because how am I gonna get the bus?
Right.
How I'm gonna pay for the hotel. Some of our kids got money to pay for their own food, but a lot of them don't. They're just not gonna say it, but I know they don't. I just know my kids,
Yeah.
So, I mean, even if they have to, so my students went to this competition. I had to take them down to close at work in the job center for them to get a suit. They couldn't afford to get a suit, or a suit is a lot of money,
Yeah,
So it just, the money always helps because it allows you to provide things for your students that, especially working in a school that students don't come from money. They need everything, like even if it's a basketball for the rim out, like you want to put a rim outside, you need money for that. Like everything you need money for. T-shirts, it just,
right.
I mean, one of my students designed this whole, I'm gonna bring it to you. I'm gonna try to make it happen.
Yeah,
but
we
he
can
designed
do it.
he designed this whole fit. Like a hoodie, sweatpants, it's so fly. But I was like, that's a lot. Who paid for all this, Eli? And he was like, we gonna get it, Dr. Huggins. But you know what I'm saying?
I like him already.
Oh, he's a go-getter.
So what grade level do you go up to?
9 through 12.
You 9 through 12. So you got high school students.
Yeah, I got out of my schools.
Yeah.
So I have a question, right? So
that's vocation all day.
About the teacher shortage, right?
I'll start a vocation program for real. We can start at least a podcast vocation with you, where the students can come in here. Because I told
I need that.
I
they
told,
ready to do it. I just don't know how to.
I told Horizon he's gonna bring a couple of students in. As a matter of fact, if you got a student right now, man, I can let them come in here at least a couple of days a week and press shirts. So you pick somebody that's good, and then we'll make that happen.
That kid right there, the one you talking about.
Eli won't come in and press shirts. He's. I have to work with him to let him know you have to crawl before you walk.
But he's gonna be working at Gold for Your Mouth. He's gonna be at the Legendary People podcast.
Yeah. He thinks he's not gonna work.
Well, I don't know Eli. So
no, but I like his drive. No,
right, for sure. I'm just saying
he just ready to get the bag. A lot of them are, but he's like he's gonna have to graduate from high school and understand that you can't just do that. You have to work and do it on the side until it becomes something that you don't have to do on the side. But he's going to do it. I know he is because of his drive.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to graduate from high school and then have to take a step back and say, let me go ahead and press these shirts while I do this until I can get this going, because how I'm going to do it without no money. Yeah.
But I want to talk about the teacher shortage, right? Do you feel like that there are teachers that could be qualified, but they don't meet the state requirements to be teachers, such as like myself? I would love to teach children, right? I have a associate's degree, but I need to have a bachelor's degree in order to teach children. Is that a different qualification from a charter school, or that's like if you get money from the government, it has to be that?
So now it doesn't have to be because we have a teacher shortage, but this is what I think. I think if you go to the doctor, you would say this doctor needs certain credentials for a reason. And I think when it comes to education, our system is kind of failing because we don't value what we learned in college. So for me, I'm grade 7 through 12, which is adolescent to young adult, language arts. I'm well versed in my content area, which is English. I had to read all kinds of books from different cultures. Also, though, I had to learn about child development. So a lot of teachers who come into high school, I can only speak for high school, that's the only place I've taught, don't understand child development. So when these teenagers are mad at you or cussing you out or whatever they doing, and then the next day they're not, you're like these bad kids or whatever, but they don't understand child development, that children at this age don't care about no adult. All they care about is what their peers think. That is the way God made them. They can't change it. It is what it is. Now, some more than others, but when you understand child psychology, child development, all the things that I learned in college, it makes you better as a teacher.
Okay.
And I think that child development piece is key because a lot of our teachers in high school expect our students to because they're dang near adults, to come in knowing stuff. And when I say that, I'm not talking about academics. I'm talking about if I have a career day, y'all need to come and dress appropriately, and they don't. Y'all know better. How do they know better? Like when they get 13, we just assume, bam, this light switch turns off where they're adults and they don't need to know anything. And I think that that's an important piece to try to understand brain development. Like our brains are not fully developed till we're 25.
Great.
And for us to just, a 13-year-old, like we treat them like they're adults and then we get mad at them when they're not showing up, and half the adults ain't showing up how you think they should be showing up. But my point is, I just think a piece of that education is important. And I think some of our teachers are coming from the workforce and then they come into education, and all they're worried about is the content and not that child development piece. And some of our classrooms are out of control because of it. And I'm not going to say that's the only reason, but I think that's an important piece.
What about the shortage of male teachers specifically, right? Because, like, for instance, there are certain things that my son gets off with his mom that he does not even attempt around me, right?
Right.
I think that should be also a focal point as well. And I'm just saying, just from the standpoint of that, like my son, when he had a male teacher, it's way different the way he learns, and I get way more phone calls from a female teacher in contrast to a male teacher. And maybe that's be my own situation.
Is he more compliant though with the male teacher?
Absolutely.
Well, that's why. Again, we just talking about compliance. Is he getting a better education though?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because he's sitting down and being more. He's paying more attention.
Is he,
He's not
or
being-
he,
he's
or
not
is
being
he just sitting
disruptive.
down and not getting?
He's not being disruptive, and
Exactly.
and things are being able to. Then the teacher is able to educate.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it sounds good, but I've been in classes where kids are just sitting there listening to the teacher, and then you give them the test and they failing because they ain't listening at all. They're just appearing to be listening. They're just being compliant.
Well, also too.
So
like
if the
I was
data is
saying-
showing me that, and I think it's a shortage of male teachers because teachers don't make money, and the society has told us that men need to make a certain amount of money to be a man, and you're not doing that in education. So nobody's telling their boys to be teachers. Matter of fact, teachers are telling their kids not to be teachers, especially in the Black community. So we want more Black teachers.
Those are terrible teachers then.
No, they're not. They're dealing with the world's children.
Society.
They're dealing with
Teacher
society.
Do you
not
not
to
see
be
these?
teachers.
Do y'all not see these videos with these kids?
Teacher teaching their kids
Yeah.
not to be teachers is counterproductive.
I agree, but why would I tell my child to be a teacher when you have to have a special set of skills. You can't have attitude. You got to be able to let a kid talk to you reckless and keep your composure.
Ain't it in your DNA?
It's in mine,
So-
but I don't expect everybody to be like that.
Teachers teaching their kids not to do that. That's inside their DNA.
But it's about a money thing, though.
It
That's
is
what she
about
was
the
saying.
money. So
That's what
I
she
am
was
a
saying.
teacher right now, right? If I'm a teacher, other professions who go to school and get degrees, I have a whole doctorate degree. I should be able to live where I want to live. I should be able to drive the car I want to drive. But that ain't life because I'm an educator. We don't make that kind of money. So why would I tell my child not to go be an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer?
What do you love about your job that's not those things that you just stated that's obviously not the number one priority for you?
So I'm gonna preface this by saying I'm cut from a different cloth. God made me for this. He made me to do this because I love going to work. Even when my kids get on my nerves, they call me after school, everything. But I'm made for it. I'm made to be with youth. I have this patience. I just love them to death. And I know that they are going to change our community. But how many people that you know will deal with kids who are coming to school, cussing, don't want to go to class, vaping, whatever else you can think of? How many people you think gonna deal with that? And I'm constantly telling you, go to class. Why do I have to keep telling you to go to class?
I'll give you a prime example, right? My friend Telfair Sebastian, right? His mother is a artist and she sings. He's an artist, he can sing. His sister's an artist, she can sing. It's in their lineage for them to be artists, creative, and singers.
Well, maybe that teacher is not in their lineage. Maybe they did it because it was a job.
what I'm saying is, or I'm proposing, is that maybe it's in your lineage to pass that gift on.
I mean, but that's
I
the
want my
example
sons
that
to be
you
teachers.
gave is a cool example, but that ain't how it necessarily.
And they're not
works.
dealing with
Like-
humans.
Like, for example, my sons might not open up no store. Like they both done worked in here, but then they kind of like, ain't my store. They don't got it in their DNA to just.
But maybe they got in their
just-
DNA to be a business owner.
They
Is what
might.
he's saying.
Later
Right.
on in life, like we can't be so quick to be like, nope, the light bulb's
I
off,
know
the light
that,
bulb's
but
on.
I'm saying like for a teacher to tell their child, find your passion and do that. I don't think that they necessarily a terrible teacher because
that's wrong.
Oh, they're not saying that.
No.
They're saying don't be a teacher.
That's the part I have.
I don't think it's wrong. Y'all think it's wrong because y'all not in education.
I don't
Like
think
y'all
that-
are not.
Okay,
I
but
don't
not up
think
to the
that
level or to your.
Yeah,
I-
But I think
might
it's
tell
about
my
value
son- I
though,
might tell
because
my
it's
son,
like
don't own
if
their
you
own
value
business.
education, then you're gonna tell your children
But do
to
you value
education.
but
But
do
if
you-
you value
I don't know.
money,
If
then
you
you're
gotta
gonna
do
tell your
something,
child to
it'll kinda
go
be
out
better to have your
and
own.
get a good job to make better money. It's about
I
value.
asked my son asked me, do I have to go to college? I said, if what you want to do in life requires college, yes. If not, then no. But I would love for my kids to be teachers. However,
I love that.
however, if they don't have the passion I have, they're not gonna make it.
Okay. Well,
And how many people you know would? Like y'all don't.
Hey,
How
y'all-
many times y'all ever
that's why we going
babysit,
AI.
babysit other people's kids? Yeah.
Who I love kids. I babysit
sorry,
kids.
I mean, for a long period of time, and they just do what you say to do. Imagine it in a school setting where you have to determine if they can read or write or go to the next level, and your kid, they cousins acting the fool. You know, like it's different. Some of us can't even watch other people's kids at our homes because they're not following, conforming to our house rules. Let
alone somebody else's kids. Do you got teenage kids? Man, my daughters will disrespect me so much. Like, I kind of like it because I don't want them to be afraid of me and just robots. But like, I can't really. My daughter's getting ready to graduate, and she just sits around me like I'm just getting on her nerves all the time.
That's
Like, "Are you
teenage.
okay?"
That's
I'm like,
adolescent
"What's
behavior.
wrong with you? What's going on? Are you okay?" You're like, so now I just joke with her the whole time until I just break it down. But everything is stupid to her. And I've dealt with all of my daughters like that. So to go and have to deal with other people's kids like that who think, even though you're their teacher, they think that you're stupid and you get on their nerves trying to teach them stuff that they don't really even rock with. Because like you saying, like kids are looking at influencers on TikTok, YouTube, and all this other stuff, and it seems like these people are rich and famous for doing nothing.
That is what they are.
Having
Why
fun.
in the world am I
For
sitting
having
in
fun.
this classroom?
They don't see no value in it.
They like, man, hold on, we gotta learn something else. We got, like, if you taught how to be TikTok famous, every student would be in that class, and if you could actually produce the result that they're looking for, that school would be lit. But even like podcasts and social media and hashtagging and how to be viral and all of that other stuff, or an acting class, like you gotta like 15 minutes of math. Now we're gonna do acting school, and we're gonna shoot a movie during the course of this year, and man, we're gonna put it out on YouTube, and it's gonna. Excuse me, but like some of these things is this stuff that I feel like we have to incorporate. You got to put a little bit of that juice, and this is the new wave of education that I think that you're talking about too. Like you said, man, this is 2023. Times are changing, but the school is the same format.
You know how you said your daughter thinks everything is boring?
Mm-hmm.
They think everything is. I don't care if I told my kids the other day, if I was like, I'm gonna get the first person who get this right $1 million. Y'all be like, $1 million? What is that? Right. That's because that's the teenage spirit. Right. Teenage spirit says whatever an adult says, I'm a buck against that system.
So I refute that information because my only one experience, right, which has always been is where I'm always wrong, right? Because this is my only one experience of just the other day when I went to Emerson school, right? Now the teacher before I got there said he's saying something to me. They don't like nothing. I can't get them to interact with anything. Say the same thing like you saying. And I told them, watch me go inside there and we're going to sauce it up. Mm-hmm. I came inside there with a whole different, they were just, they coming up. Wait. They coming in. know me from a can of paint. They dapped me up. I'm in there looking like how I'm looking today. Braids, gold teeth, chains. They like, man,
with no hat.
what do you do? No hat. Right? We get to talk about stocks. We get to talk about podcasts. We get to talk about algorithms. We start talking about all the different type of stuff like that. Like I said, ask the kids what they actually wanted, right? The one kid said he want to be an artist. The one kid said he want to make clothes. We start talking about different stuff like that. It's like what he was saying exactly what the kids actually want rather than just having, okay, this is the box we're going to operate in. Outside the box is what they're thinking. Because there were kids there that were shy. Like the one teacher said, man, she'll never say nothing in class. Nothing. And it's like,
but it's,
can you do that every day though?
That's the point. And when you gonna teach them the fundamentals?
We have to let the creatives in. I understand it. We have to. If we just say we're going to keep doing this thing over and over and over again and getting one of the lowest results, what's wrong with
No,
doing
I
something
agree.
different?
So listen.
I think we should do
You're
something like
about to be on a panel where you see our kids,
For sure.
but you didn't see you're gonna be like amazed, I promise you. But
Of course.
you're not gonna see the process it took to get there.
Sure.
So this is what I said. Students, this is your project. Find a problem, fix it. You got total leeway of whatever you want.
That's hard.
So can we do weed? I don't know. Is weed legal in Ohio? I don't know. Can you do it? But here's the thing. I don't want to work with nobody else. I ain't got to do this. This is too hard. Why I got to do this? Why am I doing this? I'm doing this. No, you're not. So it was 2 whole weeks of, I said what I said. Teacher sending them to me. I don't care what she said. I said, this is what you got to do. You don't have a choice but to work in a group. Nope, you're not switching. Sorry, I don't care. But you saying this because you're there the one day. Yeah. But dealing with them every single day, you're like, you want to be like, bruh, like, quit talking to me. I already said what it was.
Dunbar? Yeah.
So, that's the thing that when guests come in, they're, of course, because you're new and they're excited to see you. Exactly. But the minute you have to discipline them, then how they going to feel about you? Exactly. See, I'm good because I am who I am. This is what I said. This is what happens. I'm not backtracking.
It's like being in a relationship, man.
It really is.
Step out on your relationship. The new woman that don't expect anything from you, it seems like it's all well and good. But as soon as she starts asking you to contribute to that household and pay a couple of them bills, then she's not just a fun side piece anymore. She's somebody that you actually have to deal with and manage. And like us coming into a school and the kids are going to be excited to hear from us because we're a break from the monotony that they have to deal with.
Yeah.
You're a new shiny object that came in. But that honeymoon would last about a week.
It wouldn't even last that long. But I'm not saying you couldn't do it though.
You did a great job going in there. But
what I'm saying is multiple successions of not just me, other people also. I'm not saying what I'm saying is a teacher. Today class. No, it should be more of that on a more frequent basis. I'm not saying I'm going to be the solver.
But what I'm saying to you is, at the end of the day, if you don't like kids or if you don't understand child development, you're going to get burnt out in a week. It doesn't matter because these are humans we're dealing with. Mm-hmm. When they come to school, anything could have happened. They could have got put out their house. They could have not ate. They could have come from a great home and their parents, like, good money, everything. They just don't talk to their parents. It's all these different personalities that come in and you have to deal with.
I think school should be like Patterson from like the 5th grade.
Yeah.
They should go to school for a certain period of time and then go to
a
business. Go to a business
the problem with that
and learn from the business. Like, say you got kids here working here for 3 hours a day, learning. Business.
But then he has to be responsible.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. He has to be. It should be a system like that.
We just need to find a whole bunch of people who are willing to deal with other people's badass kids
and participate.
Because if you come into my shop and you get hurt because you playing around. Guess what? Now the parent can see you because they got hurt in your shop, and you got to be willing to have people to take on somebody else's liability. That's what they say.
But I'm saying though, if we have a whole community and the community is on board and stuff like that, they can say you get special insurance for that. You know what I'm saying? You got insurance if you bring these kids, or you got
he gonna have to pay for that.
Certain you know what I'm saying? You got certain what they call exemptions or something like that for for kids like that, because like we know things happen. You know what I'm saying? We understand that, but as a community, we need to all chip in and
What's
to
the
change
program that
system.
where the kids come from the job center and work at the places? There's a
Youth Works.
Youth Works. So yeah, it should almost be
Right,
like
almost
Youth
like
Works
that.
And,
But they
and
do.
partnership
So then you have to
with-
change laws then if you want to do it.
Right, that's what I'm saying, but that's
if you want
what
to do it throughout the school
community
year,
is for.
we'll have to change laws. Yeah, get the community to vote.
Yeah,
Go ahead and make that happen.
right.
But
But
then we can do
why
it.
you don't
We
know
gotta
that? You don't know who
literally
you sit
come
next to?
together as
This
a
is
community
the-
and literally
The Three
change
Horsemen.
the foundation of what you know what I'm
it
saying.
would be like almost like it would almost be like the Dayton School in partnership with Youth Works presents the co-op program. And then you just pick a couple of different industries that the students might be interested in doing. Because they had, at Patterson, they had cosmetology, automotive, graphic arts. They had radio and TV broadcasting. And just like a few things, you know. And just kind of pick some of those stuff, pick some of the stuff that they like. And let them go out and work in some of this stuff. Even
So you think in 5th grade? I don't want my kid working in 5th grade. I want him to
Not working,
enjoy his-
learning. They're not
enjoy-
working. They're learning.
Yeah, I want to.
I just feel like you're only a
You said
child.
you want them working. no,
I just-
but they're
Just
learning.
working a little bit, man. You know what I'm
Right, they're
saying?
learning
Just
responsibilities and learning
the skill.
stuff.
I mean,
Skill.
because the best way that you learn is through working. Like if you do anything for
doing
what 10,000 hours, then you
Yeah,
become a master at
professional.
it, a professional. Yeah, so I think that it's all right, and it's
I
something.
think
that
it
they
could
might
work.
want
Like
to
we
do.
just got to get the. I don't know about 5th grade though. I think that's too young because of child development. I think 8th grade-ish is good. Our
How old are you in the 5th? 10, 11?
11, 10 or 11.
Yeah, I think 5th grade.
12 years old, you can get it done. 10 years old, you really.
It's a bigger liability. Is what
I
I'm
think,
saying.
yeah.
And-
I think we
and-
just need to raise our
You
expectations
gotta
for these
give them
kids.
jobs that they're capable of doing.
Yeah, that's all.
And you don't need a lot of kids either. Like this don't need.
Well,
to
how do
be
you
a
pick and
huge
choose
program.
what kids get to do it?
They gotta qualify.
Right,
Somehow.
Based on what?
Based on their performance in
Based
school.
on what you think.
Right, their performance
You
in
said
school.
I don't
From,
like.
Based
from
on
the
their
first grade,
performance,
from the first
yeah.
grade through the 5th grade, based on
Yeah.
that performance.
Do you know?
Exactly.
Do you know why? If I had a private school, I still would not.
Have applications.
You wouldn't
I
adopt
would.
our curriculum.
No, not that. But I don't like. We as a society always picking and choosing who we think. Okay, when I was in high school, I was skipping class. I just did what I want to do. Nobody fed into me though. But I was very intelligent. My sister was compliant and studious. She got.
Pick the ones that failed the test.
But what I'm saying is, a lot of times you don't know what you change so much, right? You don't know a good kid, bad kid. It could just, it might not. I just don't like the picking. I think
But at the
every
same time,
kid
you
should
have
be able to have the
to.
opportunity. And then if they fold on that opportunity, okay. Most of the kids at my school, the 10th, 11th, and 12th grades, been put out of other schools.
Mm-hmm.
When y'all come and hear their projects, you ain't gonna believe it. Been expelled. Then a kid came to my class.
But you set the criteria for what it takes in order to. Well, look, you don't have to pick anybody, but
Use
do
AI to
first.
sort them out.
Hold on, not even that. Look, do this.
Okay.
Do first come, first serve, and then have 20 spots available for them to sign up. So you're not denying anybody, but you can only facilitate what you can facilitate.
I get it.
But
You know,
see, I
which
feel
is-
like you should pick and choose to lessen the liability, because you said it's a liability. So you don't want to just know any student in here, and this student is not capable of being in this
Well,
environment.
how do I become capable if I'm never in the
Right.
given the opportunity to be?
You
in the
given the
environment?
opportunity, with the system that I was talking about, is through 1st through 5th grade, your performance and how you're being evaluated.
You think that's fair?
Yes, because
So
now you have the
I moved
opportunity.
10 times because my mama sucks, and now I don't have these opportunities because you see that my grades suck because of my.
No, we don't
Circumstance.
evaluate. You don't evaluate them strictly off their grades,
No,
though.
yeah, you put
Well, that's why I act a fool too.
You put a criteria
No,
together.
for real though.
It's what you personally see in these kids, and based on your years of experience, you pick the ones who should be
I get
awarded
it.
the
Right, like this one
opportunity.
should be at goal for your mouth, or this one is not gonna make it at goal for your mouth. This one can't go and work at goal for your mouth,
Right.
or this one can go. This one will be a good fit over at the bank, or this
Or-
one will be.
Based off their
Or-
interest
Right.
and their level of
Or
Exactly.
but then again, look,
Fifth
You
is
may
too
not. You
young.
may not need.
Fifth
Well,
grade
once
is too young.
everybody's
I
not
haven't
gonna
taken
be,
child development classes.
Boys should be working faster than girls.
and all the kids
What?
won't be.
We not gonna do this. We gonna do the sexy stuff.
We're cutting grass at that age already.
So what's that?
So what I'm saying is, what's wrong with them working at
What's
that
wrong
age?
with both of them? Why it just got to be a boy
why,
thing?
Why do boys have to work faster than girls?
Right,
What do you
what's
mean
up with
at
that?
an earlier
At an
age?
earlier age, I agree to it. At an earlier age.
I think you should train your boy or your girl to be independent. Period. To be able to do it all.
But hold on.
So you training? We gonna train our girls to wait for a man to come take care of them?
That's not what I'm saying.
That's what it sounds like to me.
First of all, I'm not saying. First of all, she's saying not at all. I'm saying it should be number one, but number two, mainly, primarily for the men.
Why?
Because if we look at the unemployment rates, men are the highest.
Why do you think that is?
They're not getting started early.
There's more men than women.
So so they start us earlier than y'all? Is that that's what you're saying?
If we're not starting at all, I'm telling you that is a primarily a situation.
But that's not because of that.
I'll give you a prime example, right? Right? One of my neighbors, right, takes her trash to the curb rather than making her son go do it, right? And I say, make your boy take that trash to the curb.
I think that.
Right?
Why?
Right. Because you're teaching him responsibility
Okay.
early.
Not because that's a male.
Women age faster than men anyway, right? Like, there's all these things about men are from
Oh, we
Mars,
mature.
women-
Why-
right?
Mature faster, but we don't.
Right,
age.
I was about to say
then, right?
Damn
So-
mature.
right?
Yeah, because
So what I'm saying is,
men die first,
But-
so
but
men
it
age
depends.
faster.
we going too
Period.
far off the
But you
subject.
know
What
why?
I'm saying
Do
is
you know
that
why they say that though?
I'm trying to get to my point.
Okay, I'm
My
sorry.
point
Go ahead,
is,
make it.
men, if you're gonna say not at all, but then when I say men should start first, then no, we should start equally at the same time.
I do think that.
Those two worlds can't exist. You're either starting at an early age or not starting at all.
I don't think we should start it at an early age at all. With
Well, I'm
boys or
saying-
girls.
For the sake of our boys, from a man's perspective, they need to start early. From a man's perspective,
Earlier.
period. Like,
But you haven't
Start
told us
or-
why though.
Yeah,
Start
I don't
anyway.
understand why a girl would have to, like you say, no, girls start at 12 but boys start at 10. Why is that?
because of the results, right? If only basing it off the fruit that is being delivered on the other end of this, and we're being disproportionately less employed on this end of it.
But you gotta get to the root cause of that.
And also,
okay, so I'm saying is,
The root cause of it is because girls get trained better than
no.
boys.
Well, let me say this. Also,
remove.
because
men should be starting at 10. Not even considering women at all, because that is a big staple for y'all. Boys should already be learn a little hustle. Vacuuming, like for instance, I go off when I see my son in the backseat of my child mom car and it's dirty. He needs to be out here cleaning it, using the shop vac, doing.
And you don't think if he was a girl, she shouldn't do that?
Quit bringing the girl part in there because that's your only point. All right.
No, I'm
Let's
asking.
all start the same age. But I'm saying we need to start. I don't care when you start, but we need to start.
I think
Well,
when it
don't
comes
you
to
think that
when it comes to men and women,
Don't you
I
think
think
that
when it comes
depends
to
on the
men and
home
women,
though, not school? At home, my kids,
Right.
I don't care if they're boys, girls, whatever. They have chores. They have things that they need to do. You're gonna cut my grass. You're gonna go take my trash out. You're gonna wash the dishes.
You're
They
gonna
are
vacuum.
washing their own clothes right now.
Yeah.
Just because I'm trying to teach them responsibility as a parent. And when they leave me, I don't know what you thought. I'm not washing your clothes. But why does that have to be put on the school system?
So listen, because a lot of those kids who you're talking about who have these issues with the developmental issues, like you said, we have to know to be teachers. You're saying you have to deal with it anyway at school. So sometimes you have to fill that gap as a teacher.
We fill all the gaps. That's why nobody wants to be a
So
teacher.
that is my point.
So how you gonna get people in education?
So listen, if we already have these programs around for a certain age group, right? And we're still not meeting the mark on that plane of it, why not change certain things on an earlier standpoint of it?
What you mean?
Again, if we are being disproportionalized unemployed as men on the opposite end of this, women removed, why are we doing earlier adoption to them working or them getting that in the school system?
So
if we're losing that on the opposite end, and we already have this component that's tied to schools already.
But don't you think we need to find out?
Patterson and things of that nature. So it's not I didn't freestyle this. It's a
I know that, but don't you think we need to find the root cause of why y'all are unemployed before we put something in a place that ain't the root cause? Like, we just do things without looking at data to find out what is the cause of these things.
So
I got high blood pressure.
we gotta trust AI instead, huh?
I'm not
Data's where we
trusting.
go. Data's where we go, because I can make anything 30% this way or 50% another way with data.
No, I just Ask the people who are unemployed why they're unemployed. I guarantee they won't say because I didn't start early.
And
I guarantee like that'll be a good.
I guarantee they had yours.
That'd be a good marker.
What we got?
That'd be a good
But
marker.
I get what you're saying. I just.
You got boys now who won't even get their hands dirty.
Oh, can I say something? Can I please just hold on for a second? Because I think what we did was we started the conversation at one place and then we kind of started going more than where it was. The clapback that you got, Pete, started because we just said we think that boys and girls should be able to find something they're interested in and work at the same age starting point. That's just the main thing. But then you kind of went back and you said, all right, forget all of that. We just think the kids should be working earlier. Correct. So now we all at the same place. We like, it might not be a bad idea to let kids figure out something that they're interested in and let them work in that field a little bit just to try it. They don't even got to stay there. You could work, right. You could think you like to do podcasts, but get here and be like, this ain't really what I like. That you can check that off your list as something you don't want to try and put your money into later on in life. Exactly. So it's kind of like you try a bunch of stuff and figure out what it is that you like. And then if you start kids off earlier, they'll realize like, I don't like
expose them to different things,
so they can figure out which one they like the best and then thrive in those areas. But money and figuring out what you want to do in life is not a problem only for kids. Like, man, if you go and poll adults right now and say, bro, me and B-Nut,
you know, right.
Hey, listen, man, me and B-Nut was riding the other day trying to figure out what we want to do with our lives. Real stuff.
Real.
We dead serious too, like, because like, man, trying to figure out what you're calling and what you love in life and what you want to be able to monetize for in life is like, if you got that.
Why do you think that is?
Because we're so dependent on money.
That is.
Like, that's it. That's what it is.
I really wish that I could just live off the land and just live off of love for real.
And I think that's in a lot of us, though. Like, that's inside of us, a lot of us, to want to just do that. But we have to get money. We have to get money.
But I think we over rely on money to a certain extent.
Well, man, because everything that we get from money, the earth yields as a natural
right.
process for real. Like, we really could go out and build a house, collect the wood, build it.
Man, and
whatever
grow your food.
Grow our food.
Raise your food.
We grow our food. And then if we was actually growing our food, it would be more healthy for us.
Right.
Like, we kill ourselves to get stuff that's actually
not good
for free. I mean, you got to put that sweat equity in there in order to get it. But
it comes from the earth.
I think that we, as a society, teach that success is money and power.
Yeah.
Instead of saying to our children, what do you want to do?
Right.
But when they tell us, so my youngest son went from wanting to work at McDonald's to Speedway. Now, his dad was like, boy, you ain't doing that. I said, that's fine, but the kind of lifestyle you want to live, son, I don't know if a McDonald's check is
How
going
old is he?
At that time, he was 8. Now he's 11. Now he just wants to be in the NFL. But, you know, they change all these things. But my point is, I think we need to, instead of saying to our children, you ain't going to make no money in that, we need to say, what kind of lifestyle do you want to live? Yeah. If you are trying to buy all the, because his Christmas list be like a Maserati, stuff I ain't never heard of. I'm like, boy, do you know where you come from? Right. But anyway, I'm like, the kind of life that you want to live, McDonald's check is not going to yield that. Right. So either you need to find your passion or you need to find something going to make the money that yields the lifestyle you think you want to live. Mm-hmm. But my point is, we tell our children to find jobs based on the money that it brings in. Right. We don't never tell our kid that a passion. What is a passion? You need to pay bills. You need to, and I think that's part of the problem. So then when we become adults, some of us are making good money, but we're not in the field we want to be in. And then we're like, shoot, I didn't done it this long. I might as well retire. And you're just not happy.
If you think about it, the people who make the most money are people who enjoy doing the job.
That's right.
They do.
In most fields, some fields, like some people that make money are miserable though. Like,
we got none.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's the whole thing is just they just strive to make money.
No, I agree.
You know, and that's what makes them miserable because they're not being fulfilled. They don't have a purpose or they're not living in their purpose. They're just making money.
I agree. But also, we want things. We always
Are we
want to
still
look a
live?
certain way, be a certain way.
Peanut.
Yeah.
Are we still live?
Yeah.
We live. We
Oh,
live.
okay.
Me and my change problem.
Yeah. See, it's about that money.
I know. My kids gonna see this money on the thing and be like, "I'm going to work at T-shirt." You know, just playing. But that's what we teach our kids, though. Instead of
Yeah, we
passion.
teach them it's about money. So tell us this though, Dr. Huggins.
Hey, not even
How
It's all good.
since this is Legendary People podcast though, we really haven't did your story. You know what I'm saying?
We're coming back for a story.
Yeah, we got to
you
come
come
back
back,
to that
bro.
because this is
I
almost.
want you around though.
Yeah,
like,
for
real.
sure.
Like,
Sure.
it's just cool to have like the owner, the principal, a teacher, all of them hats that you had to wear. You know what that did? It made you be able to hire for all of those positions and know
Exactly
what's
what
a
you're looking
bad
for.
excuse for somebody to give where results aren't being yielded because you done did them all yourself.
Mm.
And so that's why your ability to hire these creative teachers, these outstanding teachers that mirror you, like we're gonna attract the teachers in there that that are like you, that are your type of people, and you
Fit your
surround
culture.
you. Like, man,
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah,
Because I want our kids I don't want them to. I do want them to like coming to school. I want them to go someplace they have no choice to go, but it's not all bad.
Right.
You know, I don't. Sometimes I want my teachers to mirror me in trying to build rapport with our students and be understanding. However, I want my students to understand the world is not set up for people to like you. So when you go to class, I want them to care for them, but I also want them to run their classes in the way in which it's conducive for them to be able to teach. Because if my kid is in a class, 5 class periods, 5 different personalities, that's allowing him to be a better adult. Because I think that we teach our kids, everybody gotta like you, and you could say and do anything you want to them, and they're gonna come back and love you and be around you.
Right.
I literally just told my kids today, one of the parents brought donuts in. They was acting a fool. Like, just cussing, and they was like, my mom said, I said, your mother said I can give y'all the rest of these donuts. They're for the teachers. I'm not giving them to y'all because y'all think y'all could just be disrespectful, do whatever you want to do, and people still gonna feed it to you just because you kids. It's coming a time where y'all need to understand that the energy you bring, it be the energy you get. But our schools are set up for teachers to not bring that energy because then we in trouble.
There you go.
We need like a whole school devoted to like entertainment, social media, and just lit. Everything lit. Like for example,
I'm gonna show you what I done wrote up.
Look, check game. I want to see what now show me what AI wrote.
No.
Nah, listen. Nah, I got you. But look, what I'm saying is this though. Like, if we had I don't know if you could even Zoom in instructors, but we need like somebody to teach kids how to be a manager of of artists, right? You know what I'm saying? And like they would get that in school, and then you teach somebody else exactly how to hashtag TikTok and be viral. That's like another class. And just like each portions, like they would go from class to class in all these areas, right? But then in those classes, if you have to read how to go viral, and like the book that they're reading is like a TikTok book, and then they're gonna read the book on YouTube.
And you think they'll be interested because it says TikTok?
Absolutely.
Well, I think
that's what's up. Y'all are living in the fantasy world. No, they will not.
Wait a minute, though.
They're gonna say, "I don't want to."
Hold on, this is what I'm
Maybe
saying.
elementary.
Look, no, this is what I'm saying. Not only are they going to read this, right? Instead of taking a written test, they would actually implement what they read as an action and see if they video goes viral.
Right.
So the test is not reading to like you're gonna read this instructions on what to do and then actually make a TikTok video
and do it.
Right.
And that's
then,
your test.
Man, we're gonna keep doing this every day. And then so that will keep them super interested, but they're getting the ability to actually read, comprehend what they're reading with the reading comprehension, and then act out in something that they're interested in. Same thing goes true with like, let's say that we had a class on just managing, like a student being a manager, right? They would pick an artist. So like me, P, and B, we all rap, and you rap too, right? So we all would take turns on managing each other's career. You know, I would do a rap, we would record it, boom, and then you say, okay, bet, this is what I need to do in order to get my stuff to this record label. We're gonna send out emails, we're gonna come out with contracts, we're gonna do this, this, and this, and then we are going to implement that stuff, and we're gonna do this every day, back to back, sending these emails, sending them out to record labels or whatever, and just seeing how it works. Another thing, you know, all I'm saying is, like, pick a school that's like full of classes. Every class you go to is an exciting class, man. But we're implementing the math, the reading, the science, the history, and into what the kids actually like in order for them to get these lessons. And then, like, it might not be like all of that, all class, but for the vast majority, we are going to be producing students who are really interested and talented in the stuff that they are seeing as the best way for them to get rich.
And
So
producers in the community.
So
And they're producers in the community because they are producing.
So I'm gonna say
Stuff in the
this.
community.
Okay. So my school is project-based learning. That's what we do.
Right.
So and I'm gonna just say about 3-4 years from now, everybody's gonna want to be there.
Yeah,
I just know. I mean, we just got this.
I agree.
We good. We good at the school. Even though I complain about my babies, I love them.
Yeah.
So do our
If I was
teachers.
to go back to high school, I would go to your high school.
But no, y'all would. I mean, y'all would enjoy it for real. My school is like 80% boy, and now that it is,
I wouldn't be
I'm
at your
understanding why. I'm understanding why they are not the things that you hear about black boys being okay, when my kids get in a car with their friends, they don't go to my school, so they're not old enough yet. And the stuff that they get suspended for, I'm like, what? Like, because it's just not that serious.
Right.
It's boy stuff. And so education system is not meant for boys. It's meant for girls.
Yeah.
That's why more boys get suspended than girls. Because girls know how to sit down and color and whatever.
I agree.
Now, because of that, I always been like a teacher who I always thought outside the box. I could still teach my curriculum and still engage my students. Now, my most difficult, I don't even want to say problem, but the difficulty about my job is our students having a growth mindset and our teachers also having a growth mindset. So with project-based learning, you're not supposed to tell. So my students were like, for my presentation, do I got to do a PowerPoint? I don't know. Is that the best way to present your product?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what you doing? But I need to train my teachers on how to not tell our kids how to think and what to do, because that's what we were trained to do. And our students are trained to do whatever the teacher tells them to do. So the most difficult part right now is the frustrations that come with you having to figure this out by yourself. And our teachers allowing them to live in their frustration and figure it out by themselves. And so for the educational system to change, it's just gonna have, the mindset has to change.
So how are they being taught that they got to figure it out by themselves?
The teaching, I'm the facilitator of learning. I'm the facilitator of learning,
Why
but
you
I'm
look at me
not.
like that?
I gotta bring my point. I gotta bring it out.
AI.
No. Only education is self-education.
No, for real. I can agree with that. Okay, here's the thing. Our kids are growing up with the most information possible at their fingertips.
Thank you.
But we learned more than they did. Why? You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was in high school, I knew more than most of the high school students now, because you had to go look stuff up in a book. Like, you couldn't, and now they have these phones, and they're like, Dr. Huggins, I don't know how to spell it, Google it. Like you have Google right here,
My favorite
but you
phone.
stay asking me
Can't
questions.
get dumbass with a
Be-
smartphone.
But we can we're teaching our kids to rely on other people for information instead of relying on themselves.
Wait a minute, that was a
Project-based
contradiction though. You just said they got to rely on their phones, but don't rely on other people. But you relying on information. You have to have a source of information. So
I
your
agree,
source-
but why does it have to be me telling you
Because
how
you
to
are the
present?
teacher.
Okay, so here we go. If a student, so for my life skills class, I created all these problems that these kids then came to me with this school year. Real life stuff like, oh my gosh, I got an STD and my parent, I don't want them to know. A couple of my kids then came to me. I was like, I told them what to do, but they don't know what to do. So I'm like, they wrote down like, well, I guess you're just gonna have to tell their parent. They can't because they're gonna get put out. You guys need to find them resources. Just like I did. I went to Google and I found the resources. Our kids do not know how to find resources. They have
teaching them how to solve a problem instead of just
on their
giving them
own.
a
So I'm
solution to the
facilitating
problem.
learning, and I'm giving them. So when they ask me about the presentation, do I need a PowerPoint to present? I don't know. Do you? This girl did this whole PowerPoint with 1,000,000 words. I was like, so when you imagine you happen to give a pitch from 5 to 7 minutes, you're gonna read all these slides. I mean, if you're going to do it, that's on you. But if you're asking me my opinion, I think that you should just know your product. But if you want to do a PowerPoint, you can. So I'm not leaving them out to dry. I'm just answering their question with another question to make them think and to continue learning.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love
Because then they grow up and they
So
graduate
you
from
are
high
still
school and don't
teaching
even know
them.
how to get an
Yeah,
apartment.
You're still teaching them. You're not just leaving them out to dry.
And that's different
That's
from,
better.
it's different from,
Right.
okay.
Telling them what to think. You're teaching them how to
Yep.
think.
Remember back in the day where y'all had to look up them definitions?
Yeah.
Y'all remember that ish? I don't. Right, here go 10 words. I failed the test every week. Why am I looking up random definitions? For what? Just tell me what them words mean. Why do I have to look them up? Where's the value in that? That I could open a book and write down something. Instead of,
Teaching you penmanship and how to write, and then
what about
Teaching
when
you
you're
how
in
to
high school, you
conform.
already know how to write?
They teach you how to conform.
not just you did.
Memorization,
Junior
the key
class,
component of
everybody
education
else.
is memorization.
Yeah, when you're in elementary. Because you memorize your math facts and stuff. But, okay, so when I'm teaching poetry, all the things that go in it, spitting bars, metaphors, personification, all of that. What is the point of me having them look it up? I don't have them look them up. I just tell them my definition. I write it on the board. Y'all get what it means? Now give me some examples. Then they need to provide me with examples. Then you need to write a poem or a rap or whatever you need to at least include 4 or 5 elements.
Okay.
I didn't waste class time on having them figure out these 10 definitions for what? It don't mean you smarter. You looked them up, you copied a piece of paper. Tomorrow I'm gonna ask you what is personification. You're gonna tell me you don't know.
I think learning anything is just remembering what it means, or
Or living it.
Right.
So when you experience education, you
So-
retain it more. So,
is being smart just being able to remember?
relate.
that's what the education system tells them now. But that's my point. Like, if you are compliant and you can remember, yes.
Is it? And also implementation of what you learn.
That's my point. That's where that higher order thinking comes. Just because I can regurgitate information, that's the lowest level. Again, this is what my education taught me. The different the different levels of education. So that's the bottom level. That's the bottom level. But implementation is on the
Right. It's the top level.
Yeah.
I say things all the time that I haven't never like officially learned though.
Like what? Give us an example.
I mean, just like my conversation here today, it's nothing that anybody taught me to have these philosophies or outlooks on anything. It's just like
Is it your
comes
life
from
experiences?
Experiences, yeah. That's where all our philosophies. And
So
all
when
that
you
come from.
experience education,
Not
you retain
really,
it more.
because for me saying like we should start a school where we got a manager and a da 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 da, like some of this stuff is just brought to you through thoughts and ideas.
Well,
and
But what
and
inspired those
ideas.
thoughts?
Well, you had kids in school.
Yeah, or
so-
you went to school
Yeah.
and you're
And you've
thinking about
managed
all the
people.
reasons why that didn't work out.
No, I don't think an idea for something is necessarily something that you've learned before. It's a new thought that you brought from wherever.
What
it
sparked
came.
it?
Right,
though?
it was
Something happened. You had to
triggered
expose
from
to something. You had to
something.
be
Something
exposed to
triggered
something.
it. Yeah, something triggered that idea.
If I never knew, if I always thought the only thing in the world was America, I wouldn't be like, "Ooh, I'm gonna create this airplane." Something somebody had to say.
That you have just free ideas that are new concepts that you can bring to
I
the
don't.
table.
I think it's sparked by something. You could have watched a
It's
commercial.
sparked by
way,
something.
It could be anything. I can see that king,
Well,
that
how
word
does
king.
anything- Well, wait a
I'll
minute.
give
Stop that. Wait.
example.
No. All
You
of
gotta
us
get closer
are
to the mic.
able to come up with new concepts
Innovative.
and bring, it's innovation and discovery.
I know, but
Wait a
what it
minute.
sparks the innovation. So if I'm sitting
But
here,
what
products
is
that we
like? Give
have
us
here,
an
somebody
example.
invented
Give me an
But what
example,
sparked
and I'm gonna
it?
show you what I'm talking
What
about because
sparked it?
something had to come from something.
somewhere.
That had
So
to
the peanut, right? The peanut was
the peanut had to came. Where you come from? Go ahead.
Maybe I wanted to put this on bread. How am I gonna do it? Oh, if I chop this up, like it just didn't.
I mean,
something, and it could be just a tiny little thing. That's why exposure is important.
Stepped on the peanut and seen it squish.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
Right.
I could.
I mean, your
boredom.
Your idea
Boredom.
may be to solve a problem.
Yes.
And that's where a lot of inventions come from.
Exactly.
Or mistakes.
But what I'm saying
Yeah.
is like innovation, man, to just be able to come up with something that you want to bring to the table. Like, I don't think that anybody taught the Wright brothers about a
No, I
plane
don't
or
think it was
something.
taught. I just think something sparked it.
I think
don't
it was
have
what
to
you
be
was
taught.
saying. I
Yeah,
think
like,
I
I
think you
wanna
was
be
what
able
you
to
was saying,
get
like
places
solving the
faster.
problem. I
I
think it
wanna
was
be
a
able to
problem,
travel
and when
faster.
right,
That's right,
and
'cause it was a
and it was
problem.
the desire to solve this problem
Exactly.
that sparked that idea to make you come
Exactly.
up with
So-
that product.
So
or
what
something.
I'm saying is, like, all the things that I've learned, like, I come up. It's not something that I'm learned that I'm actually like giving somebody else. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have to learn that a school with creative stuff in there would be good. This is just something that I feel like, dang, that might be cool.
The Wright
It's an
brothers
idea.
did.
But you had to experience the
That was
creative.
part,
You
right.
had to know what being creative is for you to even think about, okay, putting the school and being creative together. Like you had to know what this is and what this is all about in order to say
True,
that this
but
would be a
nobody
good
taught
fit.
me that though.
But some people gave you. Nobody had to teach it to you. You
Nobody
might have been
taught you.
inspired by the fact that this is a problem and I want to fix it. How am I going to do it? And somebody gave you, maybe, I don't know, the opportunity or the gumph to say you're capable of solving it. We're not telling our kids that they're capable of solving anything. If they don't comply, then you aren't going to be shit,
I'll give
is
you
what we
an
tell
Or
our
even
kids.
exposure.
But
And
check this out.
exposure.
So you know how these other kids are going to school and they're getting expelled for silly things, and you say it's not that serious? Nobody taught you that it's not that serious, or did somebody teach you that? Or this is just your own.
It's my personality.
Exactly. So this is you wasn't taught that it's not that serious.
But I used to think
it's
it was, though.
Because
That's the way I was trained.
She was taught that it was
And then
that
I
serious.
just kept going through these circles, and I'm like,
And she
what are
learned
we
that it
gonna
wasn't
do?
through experience.
But what if I was never in education? I would have felt like most people out here and said, you go to school to learn not to have fun. Sit down and shut up and do what them teachers tell you to do.
I say that all the time.
Right? You see what I'm saying? I tell my listen
Dang,
because
I'm
at, no, but at
You
some
go to
point
school to
though,
learn not to have fun.
at some point though, because you're not in an education system and your kids are not, my kids don't go to my school.
We got a comment over there. What they talking about? I said, boy, get up here and do my shirt.
Is that what he said?
It said this is some great concepts. Do with the
Oh, that's Miss Berry. Is that Laura Berry?
Dunbar will be offering some of these courses in the fall of 2023.
Okay.
So
Good.
even your innovative thought has already been
Yeah, I think as education system we are trying,
Yeah.
but we need more support. Like we don't, y'all just send y'all kids to school and
Need more
expect
money.
us
I actually
to do
just typed
everything.
this out already, which is super
But
dope. It's called Artist University.
But yeah,
That's what I'm gonna
exactly.
do. So like kind of, for instance, so my school of thought when it comes to this, I'm not going to display the whole thing here because I'm actually doing some proprietary stuff with it. But think about this. So I'm in class this one time, of course, Emerson, right? And I asked everybody like what they wanted to be. And the one little bro said, man, I want to be an NFL player. And before he even finished player, the teacher was like, yeah, find something else to do.
Yeah.
And I felt like that's so crushing to somebody when you ask them and they really like, there were people that were too shy to even say their name. And he get up and say his name, proud, he'll be an NFL player. The school of thought I said was, okay, you'll be an NFL player, you need to be studying NFL players. You need to be finding out what made this person exceptional, what can make you exceptional. Studying all the things around them, right? Everybody who the NFL player pays, you should know that.
Yeah.
An agent, you should learn about sports nutrition. You need to learn about weight management, all the different things like that, rather than cutting kids off at the knees. But I took that and multiplied it differently.
I mean, I agree. However, we also need to have people who are teaching them how to understand those contracts. Like when I first purchased the home, I had to understand the language in that contract.
Yes.
So that's why they need the fundamentals. But this is the other thing. We could do project-based learning. We could do all these different things. But if they don't have the foundation, so they're doing these PowerPoint slides, and I'm like, did you read this out loud? So this is what you're going to present? And they're like, wait, what? I said, I just want you to go read it out loud to one of your peers. Or did you not learn to capitalize something in kindergarten? I mean, I could talk to my kids like this, first of all, because I got rapport with them. But the thing is, in order for them to do these innovative things, they still need to know the foundation. Like when he was saying, all of us are artists, the contracts. Our students are not even reading on grade level. Our parents are not even. I read to my first kid. The other two I didn't. At least I had my son read to them. But they're not getting any type of education or we talk to our kids or anything at home. And so we focus a lot on the fun reading and math and all that, because if they don't get it from us, they're not getting it.
Reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Yeah.
But for real, like, if I want to do this plane, you got to learn some of this geometry. You got to learn some of this stuff. Like if we are teaching them how to grow a garden, so project-based learning, we're going to grow this garden, and then you're going to learn about photosynthesis, and you're going to learn.
That's dope.
Because it's hands-on their experience and the learning. But they still need to learn it. And I think that sometimes we miss the mark when we're bringing in these innovative things. And then you're going to realize, oh, these kids barely could even read. You know, like really comprehend regular 4th grade, 5th grade text, let alone a standard contract. Like, that's why some of these NFL players, NBA players, rich people, I don't care if they're what they're doing and they got money, are getting got.
Yeah.
Because they can't even, you know what I'm saying? So we have to.
I think we also have to understand, like, I think teachers and educators should understand that they can use these interests like that.
Yes.
The guy that want to play football, use this interest to teach him why it's important to know how to read, why it's important to know how to read contracts and do math and use football as a catalyst, right? To teach
so
him.
How do you do that? Let's say you have 20 class sizes are typically 30 students, 25 to 30 students, right? So let's just go on the small end and say you got 15 kids with 15 different things they want to do. And you go and get all this stuff from the library. You come to class and they're like, ain't nobody doing this. Then what you gonna do? Or 5, 6 of them are saying, I'm not doing that. And they just doing this.
Well, since I haven't taken the early childhood development
Early
class.
all I'm saying to you guys is it all sounds good until you're in the classroom. And then you have to manage all of these things. And I know that kids say one thing. And if you guys have children, you know that they're interested in one thing one day and they're not interested in the next. And sometimes it doesn't not matter, because if they did not get those for high school, again, this is for high school, if they didn't get those fundamental things in elementary and middle school, far as reading and reading comprehension, it doesn't matter what you say. And if they don't like reading, they're not going to read. Like my son loves basketball. He loves whatever. I got him LeBron's book. He was like, I'm not reading it. I have to literally make him read. Like, you don't have a choice. He has a 4.3. He can comprehend. He just don't like reading. Some people just don't like reading. But my point is,
He's like, I'm tired.
No, because he's not gonna listen to the audiobook. He's probably bucking against me because he's a teenager and I want him to read. But I didn't like reading in school. I'm an avid reader now, but
I think the important thing is to teach him that reading is important.
So my question to you is, do you not think that that's what's happening?
I think that is what's happening.
I'm talking about in schools. You don't think teachers are trying to cater to your interests? It's an everyday struggle. I have 5 class periods.
I understand that.
And so it becomes taxing, it becomes tiring, it becomes burnt out when society is relying on educators to do it all. To educate your child, to be their counselor, to build rapport with them, to let them talk reckless to you and you be patient and all the above. Like we have to, all of it. We're finding them jobs. We're teaching them everything. Like when does the community begin to help the education system? Because that is why there is a teacher shortage.
I think that should be a mandate.
Like to do way too much.
I think parents should be mandated to come to school and volunteer.
But how am I going to volunteer when I work? How am I going to volunteer?
That doesn't matter. It don't matter. That should be a part of. That should be like the community. That should be a law. You got to go to school and volunteer a certain amount of hours.
What if my job don't allow me to come get off?
That's on your job. Then they're gonna be fined by the government because the government said you got to go and give a certain amount of hours. This is what I'm saying. This is how stuff should be.
So we got to change the laws again.
Right. Because if the parents came to the school,
I'm gonna tell you this though, as an educator, I don't want all y'all up in my.
It ain't. I mean, it would help.
Because this kid, listen, I didn't have a parent in my class. Okay, let me just say this. I didn't have a principal in my class trying to come and tell my kids what to do. Don't come in my room that I've set up. So we was on 90-minute blocks. This boy, he just can't sit still. I said, let's make a deal. You get to get up after I give instruction. You can take your little 5-minute break and walk around the room. Get the energy out. If you mess with somebody, I ain't on that. Like you lost the privilege. A teacher comes in and the administrator comes in and sees this and says to that student, why are you up? Sit down. She look like, what are you doing? We good. This is a loving family environment because that's how my classrooms are. I ain't got to sit down. Yes, you do. That's why your grades are bad. Why are you lying to this kid? He knows his grade because I give it to him every Friday, but messed up the whole thing. Parents do the same thing.
I mean, they don't have to come in and be teachers' aides. There's other things that parents can do at the school to volunteer time. They could be lunch aides. They could be secretaries.
And so when they lunch aides, guess what happens? Them kids get up and leave their stuff. These badass kids, ain't nobody be here. And then that kid cussing them out. And then I got to deal with you and them.
But see, I
don't want to deal with no more personalities.
We need to just get all the negativity out of the thing.
But that is the problem when you are educating in an underserved community. Your community is bringing what they are carrying from not being able to have a grocery store, not be able to do nothing. All this stuff that I have to deal with on a daily basis that's getting on my nerves, and I am bringing that to your building. And as a parent, you're also bringing that to the building. I don't want to deal with it.
Well,
I mean, I would.
Those are my solutions.
I mean, parents where they are.
These are the things that I've came. I can come up with other solutions. Just give me some time. And
I just know how it plays out because schools have tried to do these certain things. And then because of the way society has disproportionately placed African Americans in the prison system, you probably can't even come to the school if there's something on your record that you might not even done.
Okay, well look. Let me ask you this question. I'm gonna change it up a little bit.
Okay.
Tell me, why would a parent want to send their child to your school? Or why would a child want to come to your school?
Well, first of all, we are project-based learning, so we do more hands-on. Our students have the ability to think at different higher levels because everything is not paper and pencil, and they really only get the bottom level of learning. They don't get the higher tiers of learning. So they'll be getting that from our school. Also, our students have a say-so in a lot of things that go on in our building. So I have a student government. So we having issues. Let me say this. We are preparing our students, 100% of them, to be productive citizens in society, whether it's I'm going to graduate and go to college, I'm going to graduate and go in the workforce, or I want to go into a trade. We want them to be emotionally and academically and physically prepared for that. In order for that to happen, we have to create an environment in which our students have a little bit more freedom than the average school. What I mean by that is we don't have bells. You just need to get to class on time because it's important for you to be in class on time.
That's hard.
If you get a phone call, if it's important, you could get up and I'll be right back. Now, I'm not about to repeat my instruction, but we're teaching them natural consequences that if I choose to take this and leave, when I come back, your teacher is not required to give you the information because you said that was more important.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if there is an issue that is going on in our building that's constant, I have a whole meeting with the students to try to help me figure out how to better serve them so we don't have all these headaches. So cell phones. We have an issue with cell phones. So what y'all gonna do? Because y'all want me to take them at the door? No. Okay, so how can we meet here in the middle? So our students came up with, okay, how about this? If you guys are teaching and our work ain't done, we can't be on our phones. And if we are on our phones, then you get to take it. I said, y'all, for real? That's what y'all want to do? Yes. But Dr. Huggins, only if the teacher is teaching. So I talked to all the teachers. I talked to them. I said, this is what the kids came up with. What do y'all think? We can live with that. That's our new policy. So our students get to be engaged in the policies that we implement at the school. Ooh. Also, our students interview our teachers. Like they talk, when I'm about to hire a teacher, they interview them too. Also, they're in on the interviews because in order for a class to be conducive to, a classroom to be conducive to their learning, they got an idea on what a good teacher is, a bad teacher is. Sometimes when they talk, you think they don't like certain teachers, but they like structure. All the things that I've asked in the interview, I didn't teach them how to interview. I said, you got any questions? How do you control these bad kids? They don't say it as professional as I say it, but the things that I've said, that's what they want also. So they are also included in that. Also, it's the end of the school year. Testing is done. We got this big project coming up. And after their project is done, our juniors and seniors are going to be doing job shadowing. Mm-hmm. I did get some people in the community. I asked the student their interests. And they're going to come to our school, pick up that child with permission from their parents. And 2 days a week, they get to shadow them. And so those are the kind of different things that we're doing. But I only have 40 kids so far. So I have a small population. So it is working now because I have enough community partners in which I can place my students with. As we grow larger, of course, we're going to need more community members, which I don't think I won't have a problem getting. Right. Because I kind of meet people where they are. So when people come and speak to me, it's not like they have to come to me with their academic language and talking to me like they're professional. I meet them where they are. And I think that allows my parents and different people in the community to come and talk to me and be able to reach our students and be able to say, I want to come do this. And then I say, okay, you're in school now. So there's certain things you can't say. But depending on what institution that you're trying to help in, some of them make you feel this small. Like even when we're talking to the parents about if their child needs to be on an IEP, like an individualized education plan because they need help. We're just talking all this academic language and parents don't know that. They ain't go to school. Right. Like, what is IEP? Right. So I just think we need to meet parents where they are, which is what myself and a lot of our other teachers do in the building. So I think we just create an environment of you matter to our students and your concerns matter. Now, don't get it twisted. Some of them come to me and say, I don't see why I have to do this. I know you don't see it because you're too young to see it. Mm-hmm. But you don't have a choice but to do it. Like some of our students don't want to take college credit plus courses. I'm not going to college. So that's okay. But you don't have a choice but to take it because you go here and I'm going to make you do it. And when you graduate, if you say I don't want to go to college, fine. But what if you just change your mind? Yep. I was not going to college.
Me neither.
What's the worst can happen? You learned, what is it? EL 1201 is the same as English. ELA 1201. English 1201 at Sinclair is the same as English in high school. Mm-hmm. So you're getting it, but now you're getting a college credit for it. Right. So the worst going to happen is you're going to graduate with a dual credit. Ooh.
Right.
But you don't have a choice to do it. Most of our kids have not had those successes. And the last thing I'm gonna say, our students, a lot of them haven't been exposed to a lot. So we had a field trip. We had a guy come in. He was teaching an entrepreneur class every Wednesday. I just let the teachers know on Wednesdays we're gonna have an abbreviated schedule to give this man time to teach this entrepreneur class.
That's dope.
Afterwards, he took them. He was like, this is display at Sinclair, and he was like, and then we'll take them to go eat. So the students who participated in the entrepreneur class got to go. Now, between them being done with the class and the week before the field trip, some of them was acting up, and one of my teachers was like, they shouldn't be able to go. No, they earned it already. I'm not taking it away. I'm not taking it away, because that's the problem. If you don't never take your child to the grocery store, how is he going to know how to act in the grocery store?
Right.
So I just had a little mama talk before we went. I said, I'm going to tell y'all something. Some stuff y'all get off in this building, you representing me. And not only that, you representing you and your families. So when we go to Sinclair, we go to Golden Corral, you better act like you got some sense. Miss Williams, which is my enrollment specialist, is coming with us. I will tell her to take you back to school, and I'm not playing. So we get to Sinclair. Everybody did what they're supposed to do. 2 students said the N-word. You got to go back to the school. They didn't even get to go to Golden Corral. But my point is, had I not allowed some of the students who probably have never been on a field trip because they're bad, they never would have got the information.
Right.
And now they're growing to we've been on a couple field trips now, and I don't even have to say anything because they know how to act because they've been allowed to go. So this complying and punishment thing is just, I don't know, it's not working for me. That's not the way I parent my kids, so I'm not going to parent or teach other people's kids, and I'm not going to do things to other people's kids that I wouldn't do to my own. Right. So we just kind of got a more relaxed environment, I think people would say, but to me it's not relaxed because we still have rules, and you still need to do what you're supposed to do, and if you don't, this might not be the school for you. But it's not like this, oh my gosh, you got on Crocs and they're in sports mode. What is that? But that's a rule. Put your at the door, sports mode. Fix your Crocs. Put your Crocs
in sports mode.
Like they have to have the little strap up. I didn't even know what that was.
I didn't know sports mode was neither time. I heard somebody say it once now.
And I'm like, why is that a big deal?
Yeah, why do you care?
You know what I'm saying? So it's certain things. When we say pipeline in prison, go to a school and be at the front door. And just see, as soon as I walk in this building, you're dogging me out. You're messing with me because I got ripped pants right here. Who cares? Yeah. Instead of telling a girl not to have these ripped pants, just let the boys get used to it, and then they'll know how to be around females who.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't have a dress. I have a dress. Our students need to dress appropriately, but it's not we don't have uniforms.
It's subjective.
Yeah, it is. It is. And if it's, I really haven't had any issues, like literally no issues. Like a girl came in with some short shorts the other day. I was like, girl, those might be a little bit too short. Let's see what happens. She went in, learned, nobody said nothing happened. Left. They went on as usual. Like, I think we really focus on so much of how this kid should look and act instead of the important things, which is the innovative learning and learning the foundations that our students sometimes don't even get a chance because they're getting sent home because they got on a white t-shirt instead of a polo t-shirt.
I love that. So thank you so much, man. I learned so much today, honestly. Like, and it's like, because as number one, right, as I was saying earlier today, like, we are nothing but just like the experiences that like we all personally had. Like me as a student, me as a parent, me as, a person that wants better for our kids. And I think that's what we all kind of got to today was nobody's on here saying like, no, we won't. It works for the kids. You know what I'm saying? We all came to that middle ground of we want better for the kids. And I truly believe that you have the vision, you have the patience. Of course, to sit here and argue with us on this damn podcast, right? You got to have some type of patience. And you are a person I would like to teach my children. So for anyone else out there that feels that way, how can they get in contact with you or to get their kids enrolled in your school?
So we are in a temporary building right now because our building is being worked on. It should be ready June, July. But because of that, we're not on Main Street. We're in the Seymour Plaza, but our number is 937-972-2970. That is a cell phone. Our school phone number is a cell phone number. You could call it up to 7, and I'm not answering. I'm sorry. You have to get the call the next day. And sometimes if I leave the phone at school and forget it, it's there. But anyway, so you can call. You can go on our website, thedayinSchool.org, and download the application, or you could come to the building and fill out enrollment. We are accepting enrollment for the next school year, 2023-2024 school year. If your child is a freshman, you need to hurry up and apply, because those are the spots that fill up fast. I couldn't even think. Those are the spots that fill up fast. So if your child is a freshman, you need to hurry up and come. Also, you could come and tour the school that we're in now. Mm-hmm. And anytime you want, just call and say, can I come do a tour? We want our parents to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, for real. And parents have come in and done tours, and I didn't even know they was coming. They're just there, and they could really see what's happening at the school. We don't have anything to hide. We're not perfect at all. But if you wanted to do a school tour, you could come. Also, go to our Facebook page, Instagram page. I think we got Twitter. We do have Twitter because I made it, but I don't know what's on there.
It's not Twitter coming soon.
I know we have one, but I don't know if there's much stuff on there. But
I put your organization, the
day in school, yeah.
.org, and what's the phone number one more time?
937-972-2970. But you could kind of get a gist of the school. We got a couple lives on there. Also, you go to my page, Linda Huggins' page, and you can see stuff that's on there, but you could kind of get a gist of the things that have went on throughout the school year. And some of our students are talking on there. When you come to the school, if you want to talk to a student, you can. I pretty much am an open book. Like, we're very transparent. That's all I know how to be. So if you have any questions, you could call. If you're a child and watching this, students, because you're 9 through 12, like, you know what you want. Mm-hmm. Students have called and asked things about the school, and actually really have came and got applications. 3 of my students did, and took it to their parents for the parents to fill it out. So if you're a student, you have questions, you can also call.
That's hard, man. I would love to bring my Network and Chill organization up there to kind of do some little teaching and stuff like that.
No, absolutely. So if you are a community member, like I said, our schedule, we do most of our our hardcore math academic stuff in the morning, because one of our students was like, look, this math stuff after lunch, Dr. Huggins, I don't know about it. Right. So we try to get that out the way when they first get there and they're ready to learn. So our afternoons are kind of like our after school programming, and our afternoons starting about 1:32ish. Okay. So if any community member wants to come in, like we did that entrepreneur class, a couple of other things we did.
You could just tank.
We're doing the Shark Tank.
For sure.
But if you would like to, kind of partner with us, and you think that you have a skill or you have something that you want our students to be exposed to, just call the number, call up there, we'll answer, and we'll kind of set something up and work around your schedule. We just have to, rearrange our schedule, which we can do. So absolutely. We welcome community members. Our students treat y'all better than they treat us.
Of course, because we the honeymoon.
And we welcome you guys. I want our students to be exposed. Yes, except I won't call y'all that way y'all could, but we want our kids to be exposed to as many things as possible, because I'm going to tell you this, it's some things that my students, as far as these projects go, but period, that they teach me about. One of the projects was inspired by me because I do not know technology. So anyway, a lot of things that my students talk to me about, sometimes I'm like, I didn't even know that. So we welcome community members to come in, because I want my kids to be exposed to everything as much as possible, so they can make a sound decision on what they want to do when they graduate. And it's not just doctor, lawyer. Not that if that's their passion, I want them to do it. But it's so many other ways out here for them to be successful adults that I just want them to be exposed. So please, if you're a community member, call us also.
For sure. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for the Legendary People podcast, man. This has been a super dope one, man. Please make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. I can't ask what I normally ask, because I normally ask a guest what their gun sound like, but I don't know if you allowed to say that as a teacher.
I don't even know what you.
Hey, Bina, what your gun sound like?
Do an example.
We out of here.